Hi, Jason Wells here, and this week I'm going to talk about success in MLM. And one of the things that I commonly see out there is the concept of magic bullets. And I don't know why these things continue to happen, but they don't exist. And this is kind of a pet peeve for me. You know, in the search for MLM success, people often think that the magic bullets exist, that there's something that you can magically do and you're going to be suddenly a success in MLM. And, you know, the funny thing about this, and probably the most annoying part, is if I were to survey 100 people in MLM and ask them, are there magic bullets? They would laugh and say, absolutely not. The funny thing is, deep down inside, if you were to ask these 100 people how they think people have success, or ask me a question on what you think you need to know as far as how I got to be successful, the questions would be phrased in such a way where I need to tell them exactly what I did that brought success to me, and it would be like I could sum it up in that conversation. Now, understand, I know that's not what they think they're asking, but that's essentially asking for a magic bullet solution, as opposed to general questions on, what do you do when you train people? What do you say to a prospect when they say this to you? How do you overcome these objections? I get these commonly phrased questions in these situations that are very broad, like, just tell me what you do to be successful. And what made me think of this is I was on a forum and a gentleman asked a really interesting question to the group. And he said, if you could go back in your first 90 days, what would you do differently? And I said, and this is just the truth, and I'm sorry if this offends people, but I wouldn't have listened to my upline. And if you've read my story on the Complete Networker product page, it's at MLMCompletePackage.com/MLM, and then the word complete, then the word networker. And, it's where we're selling our Complete Networker course. And basically, I tell my story about how I used to be in a law firm and I went to MLM, and, I was having no success with MLM, yet I could run a business at a law firm. Like, there was something not clicking here. And a lot of it was just because I was listening to my upline. Now, look, I don't think my upline's an evil person. They were doing what they thought was right. But the point is, it wasn't working. And so that's how I answered the question. So the gentleman posted back and he said, well, tell me in detail, tell me more, what are some of the things that you would have done differently, or what did you experience? So I listed some things that I wouldn't have done. And it's a lot of the stuff that's generally discussed on that Complete Networker page. And of course, it's gone into a tremendous amount of detail in the course itself. So I posted that, and then another guy pipes in and doesn't even answer the question that the original guy asked. He doesn't even address it. And for something in what I must have said must have got his back up. Because he basically said, if you're successful, then why don't you tell everyone on the forum what you did to become successful? So basically, he's basically trying to antagonize me. What's funny is, when you really think about that question, so you want me to train you and tell you what I did to be successful in a forum post. I'm sorry, but I had a hard time keeping our Complete Networker course down to 80 pages. And that's just an introduction. We have other courses that go into more detail in each section in that course. So I'm supposed to do this in a forum. Basically, my response was, well, we have foundational training, which we have that on the MLM Complete Package, and then we've got in my own team, we have that training, which is basically free to those people as long as they're subscribed to our contact management system. And the money that goes to pay for the training is, it's minimal, but it covers the cost of hosting and all the things. But it doesn't pay me for all my time and effort over the years of putting this information together. But they're my downline, so that's what they get. But for people out in MLM, not in my organization, I provide that information out there, and they can pay for it, which is fair. Point is, I had to do all that, and I'd put all that effort because it took time to put all that together and put it in a form where people could actually learn it. Building an MLM and teaching it are two different things. So I said, we have the foundational training, and I said we have ongoing training, and then obviously I need the one-on-one time with people in my team that I don't have leaders in between. And there's even people that are both in and out of my company that we give one-on-one time to. I mean, they pay us for it, but they give us one-on-one time, or we give them one-on-one time to help them because sometimes there's those kind of weird situations where you just need somebody's feedback on it. So, there's a lot of people orphaned out there in every MLM company, including my own. They don't have anyone to bounce anything off of. So we have that. The point is, this guy wanted me to sum everything up in a blog post or a forum post, and it's impossible. Like, there's a lot to building this business. All I did was answer a question and give direct things that I would have done differently in a general sense. And, I bet you if I talked to this guy face to face and I were to ask him, do you think there's magic bullets? He would say absolutely not, because I've seen this guy post things in other parts of the forum, and he's not an idiot. Like, he obviously has been building MLM for a while. He gets some of the concepts, so he would never assume there's a magic bullet. But what's dangerous about asking questions like that of people is it implies to others that maybe don't have as much experience in MLM that I could just say, well, I do these things and that's how I have MLM success. That is basically another way of asking what's the magic bullet. And so I think we need to be careful out there when we're answering these questions to our prospects. I started thinking, well, what are some of the people in MLM doing when their prospects ask them, well, I'm looking at this other company and then I'm looking at yours, and I'm kind of leaning towards the other company because so-and-so told me this. And it's oftentimes telling them something that they want to hear, and it's in that magic bullet form. Instead of saying, we have all the training you need, we're going to teach you everything you need to know, it's going to take consistent hard work, but we'll get there. They're saying things like, oh, we've got this turnkey system. All you got to do is plug people in and you don't have to talk to them. I'm just giving one example of a magic bullet formula, but there's tons of others that don't even refer to automated systems like here. I'm just giving you a very extreme example. The point is that this stuff happens a lot, and you need to know how to answer your prospects' questions, and they need to understand that this stuff doesn't exist. And if somebody ever tries to sell them on an opportunity that has magic bullets, they need to run the other way, and you need to educate them on that because it's just not realistic. Further, if anyone comes to you with any MLM training, systems, lead generation tools that sound like magic or too good to be true, they definitely are. And I know what you're thinking. I know. Anything that's too good to be true, it can't be true. Well, yeah, except people still go out and buy this stuff despite knowing that, despite saying that. So, I wanted to cover this because whether it becomes apparent to people or not, this is a big problem in our industry. This thought that somebody has some secret way of doing things. Now, I will acknowledge there are certain leaders in this industry that have discovered certain ways of building that maybe others don't know. But I'm going to tell you what, those leaders are not just sitting back and things are happening easily. They're working hard. They may have some in or some some advantage that you don't have, but I guarantee there's other advantages out there that you could take advantage of, that you could, go after yourself to create for yourself, but you're still going to have to put very hard work into it, considering even having those advantages. So anyways, I hope this helps you. And, if you kind of want to know like my story and how I kind of got to this point, go to my Complete Networker page at MLMCompletePackage.com/MLM Complete Networker. Have a great week.